Well, we're coming to the end of a pretty full and constructive conference, and for what we're about to do now is a real highlight as far as I'm concerned. This year's theme has been staying ahead of the game, and we've heard plenty of people supporting that and giving ideas of how that's occurring, and some questioning what it really means. But over the past couple of decades, the deer industry has done plenty to stay ahead of the pack. The launch of the Deer Industry Awards by the late Sir Peter Elworthy, about 20 years ago now, I think, was an important landmark, and it's appropriate we're back in this area for this event. Those awards, which were instigated by Sir Peter Elworthy, are more relevant today than ever before, just a reflection of his foresight. They showcase our efforts to the public and our markets, and more importantly, they showcase good management and practices to other deer farmers. As we all know, farmers learn best from farmers, and I think that was shown in the Cinta report that Innes talked about yesterday. In 2004, we started to codify these good practices in the first New Zealand Deer Farmers Land Care Manual, based on the experience of about 150 deer farmers. That document was comprehensively updated in 2012. There has been a lot of other works beside this. We've had focus farms and advanced parties in more recent years that concentrate on the environmental management and where people can look up ideas firsthand. Research has also got started and is underway, looking at ways deer farmers can improve water quality, for example. And there has been plenty of other good information coming out too. The New Zealand Land Care Trust did a series of videos showing good deer farming environmental practices, and the deer fact sheets highlighting environmental topics as well. And those videos are on the website. It's all good work, and we can be proud of what we've done, but are we really ahead of the game on environmental matters? I could say for sure, but what I do know is that, I can't say for sure, but what I do know is that the deer industry now has to work harder than ever to keep up, let alone keep ahead. A lot has changed since our industry's environmental awards were launched nearly 20 years ago. Our regional council is now working to put the amended National Policy Statement for Freshwater Management into effect. Many of you will be all too familiar with some of those requirements and on a regional basis, and we've actually got to come to grips with those rules. And it would be fair to say that with the change of government last year, the policy direction isn't going to change at any time soon. It's no longer good enough for us just to go out and change a few things on your own farm in the hope that you'll be complying with any new restrictions on things like nutrient or sediment loss. It takes good planning, good advice and good documentation, and you need to show that you are doing the right thing. This is where this manual comes in. The Deer Industry Environmental Management Code of Practice, which is already referred to before by Guy. Firstly, it brings together and updates all of the good advice that's gone before it. Secondly, it provides you with a clear pathway for putting all of that into practice in a way that's going to satisfy the regulators. Of course, I'm talking about farm environment plans, which provide a framework for getting people with good environment management practices. Some of you have already put one of these plans together. The rest of you will probably be going through that process sooner rather than later. I've certainly done a farm environment plan myself about 12 months ago, and I think the experience was actually really worth the effort. It concentrates your efforts and what your thought patterns are in terms of the care of the environment. The information advice in this document will be a big help when you go through that process. It's practical, up to date, and mostly importantly, it's easy to read and it's got some good pictures so that you can have a look at some of the examples that they talk about. We'd like to see about a third of deer farmers having used this code of practice to help put a farm environmental plan together by 2019. Seems a big ask, but that's not the end of it, because we want all deer farms to have this done by 2020. I'm sure there's a fair proportion of people who have met the Regional Council regulations within their own areas and actually done those plans. but I know there will be a bunch who haven't. And none of us want to fall into that piece on the bottom of the graph, which is the laggards. If anything will help us stay ahead in the environment game using this, the advice is here. Putting this document together has been a huge task, and with many people involved, but I'd especially like to thank the lead authors, Janet Gregory and Ed Noonan. They've done a huge amount of work towards this documentation. They were joined on the committee by John Somerville, Bob Kingscote, William Oliver, Tony Pearce and Lindsay Fung, representing the dairy industry, and Leo Feature, Dave O'Connor and Bala Tikasetti from the regional councils. So it's been a joint effort with some of the people involved in the legislation and or the guidelines or regulations within the councils. So that's a huge pool of experience and knowledge, and they all are to be congratulated for giving us a resource that we can really put to work. Of course, I must mention that this was produced by DINZ as part of the Passion to Profit strategy, which is a partnership between our organisation and the Ministry for Primary Industries. Now I'll hand over to Dave Morgan, but you can see that my comment earlier on that we were serious about raising the importance of environment for the farming and putting more resources towards it is real, and it's going to happen. So over to you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ian. I'm a bit like Ryan. I'm feeling quite pressurised, holding you up between your cold beer. Craig's summing up of the day after his performance this morning. I'm really looking forward to listening to that. Yeah, I'd like to add my congratulations to the team who put this together. It's a fantastic resource, and as a busy farmer who has limited time for sitting behind a desk, I found it practical and easy to follow. I am pleased to see that some of the things I've been doing at home are also in here. I farm not too far from Timaru, and if you've been to visit us at home at Raincliffe, you'll know we've had our fair share of environmental challenges in the last wee while through droughts, wind, rain, floods. We get everything that Mother Nature wants to throw at us. When you're farming deer, that means you have to take a lot of care and a lot of care with pretty much everything we do. Stock management, paddock design, the crops we grow, water reticulation, nutrient management, waste management, you name it, we have to think about it. Some farmers shy away from compliance and get fed up with a number of rules we have to follow when we're just trying to make a living and do the right thing. The funny thing is, though, if you farm deer well, you're actually halfway there when it comes to meeting your environmental obligations. Deer that are healthy, well-fed, not stressed, and given room to act like deer and will be a lot easier on the environment than poorly managed herd. So good environmental practices and good business do go hand in hand. This code is going to help do the right thing for the environment and your business. You'll find a USB wafer card that's in your conference pack. But I'd urge you all farmers to get hold of a copy, get some advice if you need it, and start putting together your own environmental plan. It's not that hard once you get started, and then you won't look back. The things you do might be as simple as putting crushed rock around some water troughs to stop deer making a mess, or it could be a big phase project, retiring and planting some sensitive areas. We've invested plenty of time and cash into projects like this at home, and we'll keep doing it and learning on the way. One thing I would like to stress here, I believe these are to be longer term and well-planned projects and also intergenerational. One of the things I've noticed on other farms where people have started making changes like this is that it doesn't take long before you start seeing your work bear fruit. And the other thing I notice, it is incredible pride people feel when they see a healthier stream or more bird life appearing on their farm. It's hard to put a price on this. The team who put this environmental code of practice together has done a brilliant job. My challenge is now to my colleagues in the deer industry to show your appreciation for all this hard work. Use this resource and show that the deer industry is indeed still a leader. Thank you, and it's now safe to say the code of practice is now officially launched. Thank you very much.
Right, that important document is now out and about, and I think there's probably a few copies at the back of the hall if anyone would like to get hold of them. Is that right, Lindsay? Pardon me? They're over here on the stand. Okay, thanks very much, Rob. Lindsay, a couple of points.
Yeah, thanks. So we've officially launched it. It'll be live on the website in about half an hour. We've got some sample copies for you to look at. The version for farmers is in a folder form, and we'll have that available next week. So I'd urge you to put your name down or contact the DINZ office. We'll send out those copies, but we'll also then back that up with the effort that we were talking about, boots on the ground, and getting people to help you with that. So thank you. Oh, yeah, and as Janet's mentioned, and the conference attendees all have that USB wafer card, and there's a little chip in the middle. You just need to fiddle that around to get that out, but it's a little bit of an IQ challenge. I found it a bit hard, but you'll get there in a few minutes.